Blog Talk Radio.
Following ingredients include a look behind the scenes. Cook uncovered until hot. Add grooves to taste.
I would like, if I may, to take you on a strange journey.
Once upon a time, there was a little girl.
The accident was over a year ago. A second woman has been elected president. The 12th planet has been named in the solar system. The last wild polar bear has died. I slept through it all. I was here for my waking. He called it a beginning. He said it was good. I think he may have thought that anything I did was good.
Welcome to Transition Radio, live from Wilton Manors, Florida, with your host, Mark Angelo Cummings.
And your hostess, Jessica Lynn Cummings.
For trans folks, by trans folks, here to let your voice be heard. Well, hello and welcome to Transition Radio. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're here at Wilton Manors, Florida, and glad to be here to bring you news and great guests with great interviews. Tonight we have Aaron Dreyling. He is a trans-identified Minnesota-born spiritual consultant who founded Divine Given Gifts. But before we bring him on, we want to thank our sponsor.
TheBreastformStore.com. They have everything you could possibly need for your cross-dressing and transgender needs. Visit their website and tell them Mark and Jess from Transition Radio sent you.
Divine Giving Gifts is a spiritual community and movement. He encourages connection, growth, and exploration of those who come to him. Aaron has over 13 years of experience with various spiritual practices. He attends multiple seminars, workshops, and conventions, highlights different ways to use our divine gifts and spiritual wellness.
At the age of 14, he began to help others to be aware of their gifts. Through the course of his spiritual development, he studied various spiritual leaders and icons. To expand his knowledge for this journey, after graduating from Stanley High School in 2005, Aaron began attending college at Minneapolis Community Technical College.
Aaron now spends his time maintaining, creating inspirational content, and communicating on Facebook, the online community. Divine Gifts, creating content and caring for other spiritual setbacks when asked.
He's currently leading individuals and groups in connecting with their divine spirit, recognizing spiritual gifts, releasing negativity, centering, grounding, and developing their divine given gifts. He has also worked with Shift UCCMN, a progressive faith-based program in Minnesota, as a spiritual advisor.
He is well-versed in various spiritual practices, such as guided meditation, healings, crystal and hands-on, but only close to body, readings, runes, oracle, original style with no aid, and more, including angel, new and old dwelling cleansing and blessings, personal cleansing and protection, ghost vanquishing, spiritual direction counseling, and emotional freedom technique tapping.
Aaron hopes to reach as many people as possible through many ways. He feels being a spiritual beacon within and outside the spiritual communities he encounters over time. His dream is to one day own and operate a fully equipped spiritual retreat center.
And now, welcome to our show, the amazing Mr. Aaron Dreyling.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for joining us, Aaron.
Yes, thank you, Aaron. How are you?
I am fabulous. How are you guys?
We're doing great, thank you.
Yes.
And did we pronounce your last name correctly? Dreyling?
Yeah, Dreyling, it all the same, really.
Some say potato, some say potato, right? That's how it goes.
Pretty much. Everyone has their own way of saying things, so.
That's the magic of word for you. So, Aaron,
absolutely.
I've always said we're spirits having a human experience. That's always been my mantra. What do you think of this quote?
I strongly agree. I feel that we are only a speck on the big picture of within the universe and all the energy that is transmitted into each lifetime. So I absolutely agree. We are spirits having a human experience, and many of them at that.
Yes, and I believe people take their body a little too serious and don't realize that our bodies are tools to help our spirits grow. And sometimes, there are events that make our lives a little harder, but they're there for us to learn.
Well, come on, even our spirits want to drive Ferraris every now and again.
Our spirits soar. Is that not right, Aaron? Our spirit is amazing capabilities.
Yes.
So, Aaron,
absolutely.
Can you explain how you got into spirituality, and what would you say to those that think religion and spirituality are the same thing? Because Mark and I, we personally think it is not. That it's two different things.
That's a very good question. I feel that I've always been involved with spirituality in one form or another. I really became intentional about developing my spiritual gifts around the age of 12. I started getting really vivid, intense dreams, and there was a teacher that I connected with and I could trust, and I went to about to maybe interpret these dreams for me, and she was explaining to me that it's a process of awakening, and I didn't really know what it all meant, but I knew it was a bigger picture to something. So over time, she gave me different tools and tips for developing my spirituality, and I am so blessed to have met her and have her as a mentor, and we still keep in contact today, actually. Not as frequent contact, obviously, because I'm not in school anymore, but it was a great experience and a blessing, and I feel that it has really helped me become the person that I am today, as well as other things, but I feel that it gave me an outlet to express and develop myself in more ways than just your typical, teenage development, maturity, and whatnot. As far as my take on religion and spirituality, I feel that religion is more man-made to explain evolution and all of these other big universal questions. But as far as spirituality goes, I feel it's more of a tool that people use to get to know themselves, to get to know the universe, to be in line with what their life purpose is and what in life they're supposed to be doing at that time.
Right.
So it's kind of a loaded question, but spirituality is more for expression of yourself and exploration.
So if I read you right on that, basically religion is one set thing for a lot of people, but spirituality is individual.
Correct, yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much I believe that we have the guide within us. The answer is within us. Even Jesus told us, why do you marvel at what we do? Well, what I do, you two will do greater things than I. The kingdom of heaven is within you. We each have a connection with our higher self that guides us. If we start looking outside of us for the answers, that's how we fail, because we're following other people's beliefs, other people's guidance. We all have our
exactly.
answers.
Yeah, I had a similar. I had a similar conversation today on Facebook. Actually, people were asking me how all of a sudden the church has new views on transgender people. And to me, I was a little taken back because I feel that we're no different than anyone else. So why would our divine pull us aside and make us a spectacle unless we were meant to lead?
Right, exactly. Sometimes I believe the church acts like bullies and tries to label people and separate people for their own gain so they can have control. And our Creator, the universe, the great I Am, made us all individually, and we're all different, and rightfully so.
And it does not say one thing in the Bible about transgender.
Or it doesn't say anything about the Bible regarding LGBT. I mean, they've created all sorts of, what would I say, the way the Bible was translated, they made it seem that it was something bad. In reality, if it was, why is it that all sorts of, in the animal kingdom, there's even acts of gender changes and acts of homosexuality. It's part of nature. It's part of what is. But it's always been a big to-do and a big focus on control to divide us all. Now, Aaron, we believe that transgender individuals are gifted in many ways, including being shamans and healers back in the day. What is your take on this?
I agree. My understanding of our evolution as spiritual beings, but as a soul entity individually, that the more lifetimes that we've been reincarnated, the more experience we get, the more lessons, the wiser we are, and we have to reach a certain point in order to have certain obstacles be presented to us during a lifetime. As far as transgender people, and the thing that I feel that transgender people and healers and shamans have in common, and why sometimes they're one and the same, is because we're wise souls. We've experienced a lot in order to be able to take the depth and complexities that it is to be transgender, to live two-spirited, two different lives, and bring them together to make the best life that you can. So being able to have that objective view on things, have that experience, makes us want to reach out and help others as well. Because we naturally don't want to see other people suffer and struggle, because we know what it's like to suffer and struggle.
Exactly, and I've read a quote once that the healer needed healing before he could become a healer. And I believe that we go through all these trials and tribulations to be able to heal others as we've needed healing. And so it makes us that much stronger as a spirit being, as a healer.
Absolutely. That's so true.
Yeah,
definitely.
Absolutely. Well, at the age of 14, you started helping people become aware of their gifts. How did you go about doing this?
It seemed to me that people were being presented to me that were already showing signs of curiosity to the more spiritual side of life, outside of being in church or a confirmation class or after school religious group. It's deeper than what the books can show you, because you actually, like you were saying earlier, have to go inside of yourself to discover the truth behind these philosophical issues, and having the ability to go over a topic and feel within your spirit whether it's speaking to you. And then if it is, delve into it further and figure out why it's speaking to you. And then put whatever it is into context into your life and put it into action. So that whole process, it didn't matter what we were experiencing, we looked at it through spiritual eyes. So living into the spiritual being that we're supposed to be. It was a process of bonding and seeing eye to eye of certain things and having a mutual respect that we each have our own journeys and learning in our own ways, and different things are going to appeal to us differently. And then we come together and go over what we've learned and experienced and how it makes us feel, so we grow together. And it was just something that people were being thrown to me to be guided into this awakening. So I feel like it's always been something that I've been gifted with, and that I feel that I can help others through this journey of beginning your enlightenment in this lifetime.
I always believe that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And I always believe that there is a sense inside of us that can be awakened when we're ready. Because you could preach till the cows come home, and if that person's not ready to hear the message, they're not going to understand it, and they're not going to really see it at all.
Absolutely.
It's something that I have learned, because I too have had the gift since I was a child. I was able to, it's almost like an empath, I'm sure you've heard that word, that you feel other people's feelings, you hear and sense other people's thoughts. And
yeah,
I believe a lot of
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I believe that a lot of transgender individuals have this ability. They open themselves up to it.
Yeah, it's part of being a healer. Being a natural empath has, it's positive aspects, and then, it's negative aspects if you don't know how to shut it off and protect yourself and separate yourself. But that innate, natural instinct within you to reach out and feel other people's pain, so you can address it in a spiritual manner, in a healing manner.
Now, do you feel being transgender is a gift or a burden? And please explain your answer.
I feel that is a gift, but it's taken some time for me to come to this conclusion, because I've been transitioning for over 7 years now, and I'm just recently coming to this realization, because it's really difficult. The transition process is not easy, and I wouldn't wish it upon my worst enemy, because the internal battles and wars that we go through. But the reason why I say that it is a gift is because without being trans, I wouldn't have the connections that I have with the guides, with other people in the community, with students that I'm mentoring, other trans students that need guidance. I strongly feel that I was made to be trans so I can reach this community specifically, but also feel deeper in general, and the whole realm of the universe. I feel that it's a gift because it helps me reach more people, even if I have to be a spectacle.
One of the analogies I like to use is you can't get electricity when you plug in if you don't have both the positive and the negative lead. You need both the yin and the yang, the male and the female energy. And I believe that it's part of the evolution that the species is going through. And I believe the transgender individuals are, what's the word I'm looking at, conduit for that. And because we are in touch, and not everyone can see it right away. It's an evolution. It's almost like a growing process where you learn to accept both your energies and stop being angry about it and rejoice with it, and then your gifts start to flow through.
Oh, yeah, that's beautifully said, brother. I absolutely agree.
Me too. Overall, has your transition been a positive experience?
I like to say it has because I like to focus on the happy moments, the times that I can really connect deep with my spirit and figure out who I truly am. Like you were saying, embrace both the feminine and masculine aspects of who I am and not be ashamed to truly live into the person that I am without having insecurities of what other people think of me or view me as, because in all actuality, all that matters is the impact and the emotion that I bring out of people. If I'm not impacting them, then I'm not doing my job. And, well, then I need to start looking deeper inside of me and figure out what my job is. But it seems to me that I'm impacting people, and when I stop impacting people, then I will search further onto a new calling. But as far as now, I really feel that I'm on the right path, and things are opening up and becoming more clear than ever before, and I'm loving every second of it.
It's return to oneness, and that's one of the things that I learned. I mean, I also fought it in the beginning. I think we all do. But when I finally realized that a part of me cannot live without the other part of me, and then I started rejoicing in both my energies, that's when I felt empowered, and that's when I felt the healing finally begin.
Right. Well, it's good to be in touch with both.
Yes.
But there's always going to be one that's over-dominating, one that's going to be presented dominating more so, which would be, me, it's female. That's my dominating. And then I'm still in touch with both my male and female side, but my female is dominating, just like with you.
Well,
your male side is dominating.
That's very much still the ego, and that's still very much the materialistic world we live in, but spirit has both energy, and none of them battle. The whole key is to walk in that balance. What do you think about that, Aaron?
I agree. I feel that a lot of the people that I've encountered in life have had a decent flexibility between masculine and feminine energy, even if they're not transgender or even part of the GLBTQ community. They just are innately comfortable with who they are, whether it's more feminine energy that day or more masculine energy that day. And I find that people that have that fluidity within them tend to be more open-minded, more in tune, and more perceptive on who you are as a person, as an individual, and less judgy.
Exactly.
And I think that makes for a lot more pleasant of an experience socially. I'd like to see a lot more of that. Definitely. And I think trans people can bring that out of people if we embrace it as well as these other select few individuals that have no shame.
And I believe that's what we're here to do. But we need to stop battling ourselves, and we need to stop letting the ego dominate and trying to fit ourselves in boxes and just flow with things. And it's going to take time. Not everyone can do it overnight, and it's all an evolution. Now tell us about divine giving gifts, and what do you hope to accomplish with your organization?
I created divine giving gifts from a calling that my angels told me in a meditation session, that it's my job to show people that they have gifts. And I wasn't quite sure what they meant about it, so it took some searching and some more meditating, and I finally honed into what the overall calling is for me to do. Because most of the time I get an emotion or a feeling or an urge of some sort. So it's hard to put it into exact words, into meaning of what I'm supposed to do in the moment. But the calling for divine giving gifts is to allow people to start awakening their curiosity to what their gifts could be. Having unconditional faith that whatever it is, you're going to be able to do it. Having support and someone to run to if they hit a speed bump. And then my next calling that I just received the other day, more clarity for divine giving gifts, is I'm supposed to be reaching other spiritual leaders to do the same sort of thing that I'm doing with divine giving gifts in their own way, is to reach out to the general public and tell them, you're all special, you're all gifted, this is why we're here, and start the awakening for people everywhere, not just people within our community, but people as the everyday general public, having uncomfortable conversations about spirituality and faith. It's uncomfortable because people shy away from it. They don't like to open up about what their beliefs are because they feel when they do that, they become vulnerable and they can be attacked. But being bold and being out there and being a beacon for other people to be like, yeah, I can do that. That guy is no different than me. Why is he any different? I can do all of that. That's my goal.
And there's no limit.
So, I'm sorry?
So there's definitely no limits what we can do. We've been taught that there's limit by organizations such as religion, politics, and all sorts, and even the school system, but we have no limits. They try to dumb us down, and we're capable of so much. We haven't been taught that. We've been taught otherwise.
Imagine a world where we're all able to grow up and be raised into where it's not faux pas to talk about, a conversation with your dead grandmother or with your angels or seeing your grandfather cross over. Like, those are magical things you shouldn't be afraid of. Now, maybe our kids or the next generation that comes up won't feel ashamed or bashful to express these things that are happening. Having more open conversations and figuring more things out, the more awareness that we have and understanding for things, the more smooth and peaceful the world will be as a whole.
Absolutely. Well, Aaron, we're running out of time. There's 2 minutes left. Is there a website you wanted to share with our listeners? Also, I want you to send that link to me so when we make your page on our website, you have listeners going directly to you.
Well, right now I'm focusing on Facebook because my angels are showing me Facebook is a tool that the divine can use, and there's over 750 million people connected to Facebook. So having that sort of impact at my fingertips is very motivating, to say the least. Divine Giving Gifts on Facebook. I also would like to mention in Minneapolis, I'm having a grand opening for Divine Giving Gifts, a spiritual awakening experience. In St. Paul, you can find event information on my Facebook page as well. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate your time and energy. And I look forward to hearing from the community and whatever feedback anyone has. I appreciate it, your energy, and feel free to add me on Facebook as well, Aaron Dreyling.
All right. Thank you so much, Aaron. It's been a pleasure. And now we're going to go into the trance news, and it will probably be cut off, but you guys can catch its entirety on. So, in the trance news, Gaystar News reports trans man chooses death after botched surgical transition. This is why we always have to look into what we're going to get into because it's not always perfect. After a childhood of neglect, a Belgian man said he did not want to be a monster before asking a doctor to euthanize him. A trans man has chosen to be killed after his body rejected surgery to complete his transition. Nathan Rojas, 44, from Belgium, said he had unbearable psychological suffering and asked the doctor to euthanize him. On Monday afternoon, on September 30th, he died from lethal injection.
Back in 2009, Verhelst started hormone therapy and had a mastectomy. Last year, he underwent surgery to construct a penis. But when he looked in the mirror, his body was rejecting the surgery. None of these operations worked as desired. Felhurst told a Belgian newspaper hours before he went to die. I was ready to celebrate my new birth, but when I looked in the mirror, I was disgusted with myself. My new chest did not match my expectations, and my new penis had symptoms of rejection.
I did not want to be a monster. The man who carried out the lethal injection was Professor Wim Distelmans, a controversial figure who last year ended the lives of deaf twins who were going blind. Euthanasia is legal in Belgium as long as certain conditions are met. Pearl has informed his family of his decision to die in a letter. I had happy times, but the balance is on the wrong side, he said. He recalled how his mother had loved his brothers, but appeared to hate him because he was born in the body of a girl.
While my brothers were celebrated, he said, I got a storage room above the garage as a bedroom. My mother complained, if only you had been a boy. Verhoef's mother confirmed she had not wanted him. When I saw Nathan's birth name for the first time, my dream was shattered. She was so ugly. I had a phantom birth. Her death does not bother me, his mother told the Belgian newspaper.
I will definitely read the letter, but it will be full of lies. For me, this chapter is closed. Her death does not bother me. I feel no sorrow, no doubt or remorse. We never had a bond. That's pretty sad, that letter, and I'm sure that the shocked mother is probably creating all this talk. How can you not love a child? And how can you reject a child even before he underwent all these changes?
Yeah,
There's a lot of sad stories, but you know what? We've got to move on, and we've got to be the best that we can be, and remember that we are spirits having a human experience. We want to thank you all for tuning in, and please stay tuned for Thursday's show. We have got Rocky, his mother, his sister, very supportive family, a 14-year-old, very brave trans boy, trans teen. And that's going to be an amazing show, so please stay tuned Thursday night on Not Straight TV at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can call in with your questions. You can chat, please. Let your voices be heard. That's what we are here for. Thank you so much, Aaron, for joining us tonight and sharing your spirituality. It's very much the same beliefs that we have. So, guys, remember that we love you, but remember to always love yourselves, too. Good night and take care.